much for coming to my mom's NASA graduation day. Trust me, for like the last 5 years, I've been hearing, this is the last Christmas, we're moving after this. So now you guys can finally go, so good. So if any of you have known my mom as long as she's been here, you'll probably remember in like the late 80s, early 90s when maternity clothes were just the clothes she wore. So with the 4 kids and figuring out how to like raise them without like dropping us off somewhere and letting someone else do it, my parents split the shifts. 19 years, they just didn't see each other at all. They didn't really hang out too much. And, but yeah, you know what, with planning for having all 4 of us within 5 years, they can split before they're 60. They don't have to worry about any of us anymore. So there's that. But when it comes to child rearing, they say it takes a village, and my parents just, you know, they split it up and didn't sleep. But with my mom working first shift in the office, she managed the second shift at home. She made sure that the house was in order, verified that all of our homework was done, like we had to get A's and B's, so that's how you do it. And she managed to make sure that we still had a lot of like, you know, little cultural reading time. She would always read George and Martha to us in like theatrical voices, and you know, she kept us on schedule. And then in the meantime, my dad was trying to manage to figure out like how to put ponytails in 3 little girls and like get us all off to school, and then also work third shift and make sure no one starved to death. And he managed to pack my mom's lunches every day for the last 31 years. So if you guys ever wanted to know what we had for dinner the night before, I just check out what my mom was having for lunch that day. And I still don't know how they did it, at least after we happened to them. So kudos for staying married for so long with all of that. And it's funny because as a child of someone, you guys all know my mom in a very professional manner, and I know the other side, and I didn't really understand what she did for a very, very long time. So like when I was 5, I was like, oh, do you wear a lab coat at work? And she's like, no. Oh, okay. And then for a little bit, I went through this whole phase where everyone needed to know that my mom worked for NASA. And if I was gonna go to that visitor center on a field trip, I knew where everything was already. And let me tell you about the astronaut ice cream. Like, don't worry guys, I got it. And so there was that for a little bit. And then also like, it was really cool because before the internet was a big thing, before we had it in the village where we grew up, my mom would always come home with the little printouts of like, this is when the space shuttle's gonna be going by tonight, and oh, Hale-Bopp's gonna be coming through and only for a couple more weeks. So she would always like make us go out into the driveway, and you know, we would read off like where the things were gonna be. So thanks NASA for that. So yeah, that was fun. So she brought that home from work, and then she also brought home some really good like work qualities that I didn't really understand until I was much older and in a professional development, like myself, like I am now. The value of having someone that you just sit with is not just like who you're assigned to, but it's also a title. So she was ever talking about Pat or Brenda, I didn't know who they were, unless she said office mate Pat and office mate Brenda. So just so you know, that's what your name is. And then as I got a little older, I tried to actively understand. I'm like, okay, Mom, tell me what you do. Like, people always ask me what you do at NASA. And then she just went, and I would just go like, and then I would try again in 6 months, and it just never took. And I didn't understand how cool a supercomputer actually was, and she'd like take me down to go look at them, like, fine. And I was really, I'm sorry, I was really bored during Take Your Daughter to Work Day. I don't know, I was little. So yeah, but then I got to college, and then people were like, oh, you know, what do your parents do? I'm like, oh, I work for NASA. And he's like, what? Are you guys from Florida? No. Is your mom an astronaut? No. Cleveland. It's fine. Don't worry about it. But now that I'm actually like a professional myself, and like I know what my mom does, and I feel like I can talk to her about it at a very educational level. She's splitting. Like that's okay. It's fine. So, and they're just gonna run off and live in their camper like nomads. So at least I get that part. At least we can stay up on that. My parents have always been really, really good to make sure that I understood the value of vacation. So my negotiation skills in my new jobs are really, I'm up there. I don't get 4 weeks like my mom does, but you know, I work with it. And also, something really important, and I don't know if this is something you guys will do, you know, maybe you could work here, or maybe, I don't know if your kids do, but for as long as I've been alive, if you've been in the car with myself or one of my siblings and you've gone on 480 over the Rocky River, it's like muscle memory. You have to look over and go, say hi to Mom. And it's funny because I'm almost 30, and even when I'm in the car with my friends, I do that, and they're like, that's fine, it's fine, don't worry about it. So I'm still going to do that even when you guys don't have the house anymore, so it's okay. And lastly, Mom and Dad, thank you guys so much. We're all really, really proud of you. Thanks for making all the sacrifices that you guys did just to, like, you know, get us up and out, and, you know, even making us all within 5 years of each other made us really close, and also let you guys get out the door a little bit quicker. And I just want you to know that as you're on your way out west, we are all so proud of you. And we're all so happy that you guys finally get to do this new adventure and explore other things. Thank you.